Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, UFC Kansas City just took place, Prates versus Garry, and it was honestly a very fun card. Lots of bangers, lots of very good finishes. I'm going to break down that card for you, starting with the main event, making my way down through the card, and we will end with the very first fight of the night. It was a good card. There's a couple of fights in particular that we're going to chat about mostly, so let's just jump straight into it. We'll start with the main event of Garry versus Carlos Prates. So, the fighting nerds are not invincible. We've finally seen the first one ever accept a loss on their record in the UFC. It's never happened. They were 19-0 before this. Now they have lost one. Kind of sucks. Garry is now back on a win streak. I say win streak. He's back in the win column now. He's no longer coming off of one loss, which was a very fun time to be alive. Having Garry be his last fight be a loss. That was a great period, honestly. I hope we get to experience one of those periods again. But Garry won. It was a close decision. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I was very disappointed at Prates' fifth round performance. Let me not say this wrong. Prates' fifth round performance was incredible until the last 60 seconds, where Garry kind of managed to slow it down to definitely slow the round and slow Prates' momentum and make it hard for Prates to get a finish like he's trying to, because Garry was very hurt in that last round. But it was just quite annoying to watch, okay? Ian is essentially just done, out of there, and Prates decides to just lay on him, to try and go for ground and pound. At times it was working, but it was very, very minimal. On the feet, though, you're having success in the fifth round, man. And even with the ground and pound, throw more on the ground. You're just sitting on top of Garry at the end there, Prates. You've got him hurt. He's not able to keep up with you in the striking. He's failing these takedowns, ending up in bottom position, and you've got the ability to sit on top of him and try and lay some damage down. But no, Garry walks away with it. He gets it done. 5-round decision. He wins. Fair play to him. I'll give you that. Fair play to Garry, because those first 3 rounds, he had Prates' number. The first 3 rounds, Prates didn't get dog walked, didn't get dicked on. You know, it wasn't really like he got badly outworked in the first 3 rounds, but he just wasn't doing enough. And Garry, being the guy with less reach as well, as you can see here, he's got 3.5 inches less reach than Carlos Prates does. He's obviously he's taller, but reach I feel like probably matters a bit more than height, especially when it's a small height advantage and a big reach advantage. So it is what it is. Prates is only 32 years old, so he's not even 32, but he's going to be 32. So he'll come back. You know, he's got plenty of time to come back. I've got a lot of faith in him. But Garry gets it done in the main event. Unfortunate, very sad to see. The striking wise, it was Garry's fight to lose for the first 4 rounds. It was Garry's fight to lose for the last 2 rounds, sorry, because for the first 3/4 rounds, he was pretty much looked unbeatable. He didn't really get clipped by Carlos much at all. And then in those last 2 rounds, it really comes down to do you want to continue fighting, or do you want to just not lose? And he chose to just not lose. In the 4th round, he kind of played it like that, very slow, tentative, not aggressive, but not getting shat on, you know. And then in that 5th round, he does get shat on. He gets fucking dog walked by almost the entire round, honestly. And then it came down to the last minute or so of the round where Prates just choked it. Multiple exchanges. Garry's on the floor. He lets him up. He doesn't let him up. He decides to get some ground and pound. He tries to get dominant position in this grappling sequence rather than just standing up. Mistakes. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the next Fighting Nerds fight, because this is the first Fighting Nerd to ever lose. When Gene Silver fought Bryce Mitchell, I picked against Gene Silver. I picked Bryce Mitchell. That came after I had just previously, in the last month, said, I will not pick against the Fighting Nerds until they lose. And Gene Silver had just won against Melsik Bagdasarian at that time as well. And I was like, I'm not picking against these guys until they lose, because they just keep fucking winning. Then in my very next fight of Fighting Nerds fight, I decided to pick against him. Bryce Mitchell lost, Gene Silver won. So, okay, my mistake. I will continue to pick the Fighting Nerds every time. Very next fight, I pick the Fighting Nerd, he loses. What more can I fucking do at this point? But it was a good fight, okay? Entertaining and fun fight for sure. Prates looked great, okay? He's going to be a big problem for a lot of people in this division. But Ian Garry, you're not getting a title shot, okay? I can respect you being a backup fighter. Makes sense. They're probably going to need a backup fighter for that, considering Bilal pulled out with an injury and JDM's had injuries with his arm recently as well. So it's possible that one of those guys doesn't make it to that fight. But we're only 2 weeks out. It seems like we're going to be fine. But get Ian Garry in there. However, that doesn't mean that you're next for the title, bro. That doesn't mean you're next for the title. I saw a video of JDM earlier today as well in doing an interview, and he said something that I 100% agree with. He's delusional in Garry because he's acting like he beat Shavkat. He's going around saying, like, why did JDM get picked to fight Bilal if Shavkat can't be there? You lost to Shavkat, bro. Why the fuck would you be next? Buckley, Shavkat, and JDM are all before Ian Garry for a title. So why this makes sense. Now you beat Prates, coming off a 1-fight win streak. Okay, now you've got more of an argument. You're still below all 3 of those people. JDM, Shavkat, and Joaquin Buckley all still deserve to fight for the title more than Ian Garry does, because Ian Garry is on a 1-fight win streak, and if it's not a win streak. He's 1 fight. He's won in these last 2 fights. So if you're not on a win streak, minimum 2 fights, why would you get a title shot? Unless you're rematching someone that you just lost a title fight to or something like that. You're a contender. You just became no longer undefeated in your last fight. And now you've won 1 and you believe that you're next for the title. No. And now Buckley's fighting Usman. If Buckley beats Usman, he's ahead of you. So you better fight someone else, Ian Garry, because if you fight one more person, then you are next for the title. What should happen is JDM's fighting Bilal. Shavkat's probably getting the next title shot, even though he's been out for a while. He should arguably be punished and forced into another number 1 contender fight, but he's not going to be. Shavkat's probably going to get the winner of Bilal and JDM. You fight Buckley. Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley. Winner gets a title shot. Easy done. Truly easy done. Not hard matchmaking at all. Just make that fight, and the winner of that is guaranteed to be undeniably due for a title fight. That's fine. Especially if Shavkat has the title and you beat Prates and then Joaquin Buckley and Shavkat's champion. Yeah, Ian Garry, that's a great fucking rematch for you versus Shavkat for the belt. But otherwise, shut the fuck up. 3 other people before you. One of them's already booked. After this guy arguably probably beats Bilal, but even if he doesn't, after this guy gets his shot, 2 more people before you. Buckley's got a fight booked against Usman, to be fair. If Buckley loses to Usman, then Buckley's no longer next. But then you still got Shavkat. So even if Bilal beats JDM and Usman beats Buckley, Shavkat is still before you, Ian Garry. So go fight someone. Fight the winner of Usman Buckley. Even if it's Usman. I think you fight Ian Garry. And then the winner of that gets a title shot. Even if Usman has lost 3 in a row, but then wins 2 in a row against Buckley and then Ian Garry. Yeah, arguably Usman's back in there for a title shot. Weirdly enough. 40 years old, wobbledy-cobbledy knees. Having lost 2 in a row to Leon Edwards before, who is, now we've learned, is not that good. But doesn't matter. Irrelevant. And Sean Brady! I forgot about Sean fucking Brady! I can't believe I forgot about Sean Brady. Sean Brady deserves it more than Buckley does. Just saying. JDM, Shavkat, Sean Brady, then Buckley, then you, Ian Garry. What the fuck? There's 4 people ahead of you for a title shot. Stop calling for it. Fight Sean Brady. And then you get a title shot. Even Sean Brady's saying that he doesn't deserve a title shot next. He thinks he deserves a number 1 contender fight. I beg to differ. I think Sean Brady should be fighting the winner of JDM versus Bilal. But this is probably the fight to make. Now that we're saying it, Buckley and Usman are booked. Okay? JDM and Bilal are booked. Shavkat's getting the next title shot. Do Ian Garry versus Sean Brady. That's a great fight. Winner of that gets a title shot. 100%. So many fights that you can make for Ian Garry. He's 1 fight away from a title shot. Not next for a title shot. Okay? But Rip Prates, Bro's gonna... He's still ranked, obviously, so he's gonna have to work his way back up. I'd say they'll do something like Prates versus Wonder... Oh, I think Wonder Boy might be retiring. I don't know. But Prates versus... I mean, if we really want to get into it, let's quickly jump across to the rankings and have a look. In the welterweight division, who is ranked like number 10 around there? You should do Prates versus, like maybe Wonder Boy, or Prates versus Jeff Neal. That was the fight that was meant to happen, right? So maybe you book that. Prates versus Colby. Prates versus the loser of Gilbert Burns and Michael Morales, maybe. Prates versus Leon, but I don't... Prates doesn't deserve a jump up again, because he just lost to number 7. So, but you're probably doing Prates versus the loser of... Burns and Michael Morales. I think that would be a good fight. And if not, Prates versus Jeff Neal, obviously. You don't make Prates fight down again because he had a great fight. But you could do Luque versus Prates, maybe. That's a fight. That's a doable fight. MVP, no. I'm just kind of sick of seeing MVP in higher level fights. He's like... I just want to see him beat like a really, really strong contender next. So, we'll see. But, good job to fucking Ian Garry. I hate you. But you won that fight fairly, so that's fine by me. If you had won it by grappling, and it would have been boring, or it had been a close decision, I would have been pissed. But 3 clear rounds, all by outstriking Carlos Prates. I hate it, but I can't hate on it, so fair play. Okay, moving on to the co-main event, we had Zhang Mingyang, CCP Power, the Chinese Tiger, whatever they call him, the Mountain Tiger, against Lion Heart. The heart of a lion. The heart of a fetal position. Anthony Smith. Brother. Glad he retired. He retired before this fight, by the way. Let me just say that. He retired before this fight. He walked into the arena with a banner next to his name that says, retiring from MMA tonight. He knew he was going to retire. That needs to be mentioned. But, here, I'll say it. Usually I say this about someone who wins, but vintage Anthony Smith performance. Hood classic Anthony Smith performance. This is what we need to understand. This is Anthony Smith. He didn't used to be like this, okay? But he is now. This is you, bro. Ground and pound, decision loss. Uppercut, left hook, and then just sat on the ground. Caged up. Dolidze just sat on the ground, caged up, and lost a decision to him. Reyes sat on the ground, caged up, and got ground and pounded. Mingyang Zhang sat on the ground and caged up and got ground and pounded. See how many of these say ground and pound? It's because he's always on the fucking floor. Why are you always on the floor, Anthony Smith? Anyway, I don't want to sit here and be some generational hater, but this is the topic today. So I'm gonna be fucking dead honest about it. You should have retired fights ago. Even this Vitor Petrino fight was kind of lucky. You're lucky that Vitor Petrino is kind of a dumbass and was a bit of a prospect boosted up too quickly. After that Khalil fight, he's basically done. Beat Ryan Spann barely, split decision. Once you got finished here, that should have been it. You got lucky with this finish? Fair enough, you got it. I'll give you that, but you got lucky. Then you get decisioned by Dolidze, upper weight class on short notice. Then you get fucked up on the ground by Dominic Reyes. Then you get fucked up on the ground by Mingyang Zhang. It's not a surprise anymore. It's not been a surprise for like a long time by this point. Even the Jimmy Crute fight, it's an injury, doctor stoppage. Get some good finishes here. And that's it. You got really lucky with this. This is his first good performance in this whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight run. This is the one good performance he had. Split decision with Ryan. Split decision. Anyway, to talk about the fight. My man... I saw a comment that said this. My man got more angry at the crowd. The guy in the crowd, he showed more aggression towards the member of the UFC fan base that has come to the location of the event to watch live. You are more angry at that guy than the dude that's been training to pummel your face for 8 weeks and just did it. Anthony Smith is walking away, flips off a fucking fan in the crowd, and then starts doing and walking towards him like this. Zhang Mingyang, the guy that just molested Anthony Smith on the ground, comes up and grabs him by the shoulder and he's like, hey, come on, man. Like, no need to, can't just leave him alone. Let him be. Anthony Smith is like, no, fuck this guy. This grown man just beat you up. And he is now the one trying to console you and say, hey, leave the fucking 16-year-old in the crowd who just screamed at you and did a fucking L dance or whatever the fuck he did. Leave him alone. You're a grown adult. You're about to retire from mixed martial arts. Is this the mockery that you want to be remembered by? Why is it always a humiliation ritual with Anthony Smith? Every time. It can't be anything but a humiliation ritual. He doesn't allow it to be. You got destroyed by Zhang Mingyang. You could have got up and just been graceful. Sad. Be sad. It's your final fight. But be graceful. You just fed the meme machine for weeks. There's going to be... I don't even know if anyone's going to care that much. But if they do care that much about Anthony Smith, they're going to be making memes clowning you. Because even in your final hour of UFC popularity, your last chance in the spotlight, you still insisted on embarrassing yourself by not fighting very well and sitting in a fetal position yet again. Fetal position again. It's always the fetal position. 2, you then went off on a crowd member and your opponent who just beat you up had to be the one to step in and try and tell you to stop yelling at the guy in the crowd, and you continued afterwards. And 3, you went on the mic and let your ego get the better of you again and could not accept that a guy was simply better than you. You had to revert to the stupid on paper, oh, in my prime, oh, but if it was a different, I just didn't feel it tonight, guys. Why? Did you have to get on the mic and say, oh man, yeah, I don't know, man, 5 years ago, you know, this fight probably goes a little bit differently. 5 years ago, you were still 31. Zhang Mingyang was 21. You want to know what was happening in your career 5 years ago? You were losing to Rakic and Glover Teixeira and John Jones. Okay? Great fighters. But you lost to all of them in that year, 5 years ago. Do you want to know what Zhang Mingyang was doing in his career 5 fucking years ago? He was going 7-6. And then he just started a 12-fight win streak. You're talking about the point where he decided, I'm better than this. This guy went, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. All by, he got finished 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And that's when you decide that you're going to, 6 times! Zhang Mingyang was 7-6 in his career, and he'd been finished 5 times. Yeah, this is where he got really good. And you're saying that this was... I know 5 years ago is obviously a random point to point out, right? This is when Zhang Mingyang's 21 years old. He was 21, decided I'm a lot better than this, and started going bam, bam. If you want to know exactly 5 years ago, it would be 2020 April. That's here, after this fight. After he just beat a 4-0 guy. Look at this. He's fighting really bad competition, losing to the only good comp he fights. Losing to the only good comp he fights. Losing to bad comp. Beating bad comp. Losing to bad comp. Then he fights good competition and wins. Good competition and wins. It takes him a long time to fight good competition again, to be fair to him. But good competition. Good competition. Good competition. You are supposedly meant to be good competition. He's beat everyone in his last 12 fights in the first round. I'm sorry, Anthony Smith, but you just... The humiliation ritual should have stopped. And you insisted on it continuing. Bro got elbowed, split open really badly, bleeding everywhere, continued to get elbowed multiple times. Zhang Mingyang has some nasty elbows, let me say that to you right now. This guy is a fucking problem. I know I'm taking this as like a big opportunity to shit on Anthony Smith, but I also want to talk about how good Zhang Mingyang is. 6'2", 75 inches of reach, not bad. 74 inches tall, 75 inches of reach. Could be better, but could be worse. Monstrous. Anthony Smith is the guy with more height and more reach. He doesn't look like the bigger dude out there, though. Like, he doesn't look more imposing. Zhang Mingyang looks like the fucking scary fella out there. He's a beast. I'm scared as... He's ranked now. I'm scared as fuck for what's going to happen to the light heavyweight division. Like, who's next? Who's next? Who's the next Zhang Mingyang victim? Because he's ranked number 15 now. He will be. He'll be ranked down here. Bro, give me fucking Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. Or give me fucking Nikita Krylov versus Zhang Mingyang. Give me Alonzo Manafield Zhang Mingyang. Give me Volkan Ozdemir versus Zhang Mingyang. Any of those fights. Azamat Murzakanov has got a fight booked. Bogdan Guskov is probably going to get a higher level fight because he fought an unranked guy that was from a weight class down in his last fight. Good job, Zhang Mingyang. You're a fucking brutal contender. Very brutal contender. I like him. I like what I've seen. That's what you should do to Anthony Smith. That was my prediction as well. I said he'd get around 1K over Anthony Smith, and he did. It is what it is. Rip Anthony Smith. You're going to be in a lot of fetal position memes for a while. Bro humiliated himself in 3 different ways tonight. Fetal position, giving up on a fight, yelling at a fan in the crowd, flipping him off in the cage, acting like you would have beat this guy if it was a couple of years ago, and letting your ego get the better of you once again. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Rip Anthony Smith. Zhang Mingyang is the GOAT. Go China! CCP power! China, number 1. David Onama versus Giga Chikadze. Very close fight. Let me just say that. Very, very close fight. Okay? It was 2-2. It was 1-1 going into the 3rd round. David Onama kind of won that 3rd round. I scored this to Giga live, but I don't hate anyone that scored it to David Onama. This is probably one of the closest fights I've seen. Sometimes I can be like, it's a close fight, but only if you like to score a certain way. Or I can be like, it's a close fight, but only if you missed this thing and you didn't give a lot of value to what this guy did in this part of the round. It's a close fight if you value end of the round moments more than the whole round. But like, this one is a bit more just like, it is a close fight, and I get it. I still have reasons for why you would pick Onama as the person who won 2 or 3 rounds of the fight. Actually, not 2 or 3 rounds, 2 rounds. He did not win that first round. But I do get it. I get it. I hate it, but I get it. I don't think that you should value what David Onama did in that 3rd round as enough to win him the round, especially when Giga was doing well with him on the feet. If it had been a close round, and then David Onama took him down and holds him down there for 2 minutes at the end of the fight, sure. I get it. Giga was teeing off on him. Giga was really, really working David Onama hard in that 3rd round, beating him up more than he did in the 1st round, which Giga also won. And then Onama shoots for dear life, ends up on top position, sits there, spends the rest of the round there, does minimal damage, some very, 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 very sporadic attempts at some ground and pound. A couple of elbows landed, I believe, from that top position. That's about it. He did a lot more with the grappling in the 2nd round, which is why I scored the 2nd round for David Onama. Much closer on the feet. I still think Giga was beating him on the feet, but then Onama gets the grappling, gets him down, holds him down concisively for minutes, and does a little bit with it. It's a bit less stally as the 3rd round was. Still didn't like it. Still said I would have liked to see Onama do a lot better in that round, but I will give it to him. 3rd round, not the same. Not the same. I don't score you that round because you grappled poorly. You didn't like actually use your grappling to be like, hey, look at this. I've reverted to another game plan and I'm beating this guy in this other realm that I've decided to drag him into. No. Barely keeping him down on the mat, not doing anything with him, essentially just stopping Giga from enforcing his game plan, rather than having Onama be the one to enforce his own game plan on Giga Chikadze. That's not what happened. So I think Giga won this fight, but it was very close. Not one of the ones I'm going to call out as a robbery, but one of the ones I'm going to say I disagree with the decision of. I was hoping it would at least be a split decision and one judge would give it to Giga. Then I would have maybe been like less annoyed about it, and I would have been like, yeah, that just is what it is. That's just a matter of it being so close of a fight that people can't agree. But all 3 judges agreed on David Onama winning that. So that kind of annoyed me. I'm a little bit indifferent about David Onama. Don't hate him, don't love him. He kind of survived with Giga on the feet. That's pretty impressive to do. But ultimately, I think Giga won that fight. Just kind of sad to see the result go like that. Rip Giga, he's almost 37 at this point. He's going to start to consider retirement. He's probably only got a couple fights left in him. He's on a 2-fight losing streak now, I think. Yep, he lost to Arnold Allen and then David Onama. Sucks. Oh, and he missed weight as well. Yeah, he missed weight. He missed weight by a pound. I did forget about that. Yikes. Maybe you kind of deserve to lose the decision then. Giga, if it's a close decision and you missed weight by a pound, you kind of do deserve to lose it. But rip. I still scored it for Giga, but yeah. That one's very close. It is what it is. Okay, next fight down. Abus Magomedov versus Michel Pereira. Holy fuck, this was a bad fight. Holy fuck, this was a bad fight. For two guys that we were considering to be the gas out merchants and thought one of them probably loses in the first round, to be honest, because one of them is going to gas out. Well, actually, no. They both gassed out. It just took until the third round for it to happen because of how slow they fought for the first 2 rounds, okay? Michel Pereira really decided to change up his game plan after his last fight versus Anthony Hernandez because he had no cardio in that fight. In this fight, he decided to go absolute opposite game plan and play almost entirely backing up, moving backwards defense for like half the fight. The whole first round he did that. Majority of the second round he did that. Wasn't until the third round that he started to kind of walk forward and push Abus back. But by that point, Michel Pereira is just as tired as Abus Magomedov is, even though Abus Magomedov won the first 2 rounds, I'm pretty sure from memory, by pushing him back and by being the one leading the dance against Michel, and Michel just looking sloppy and barely throwing. And yet he looked just as tired as Michel, and they both looked tired in that third round. And in the third round, it became more fun. They got sloppier, so therefore they started just winging punches at each other. They started just looping the shit out of their hooks and stuff. It was very, very untechnical. I don't know if that's a word. Anti-technical, non-technical, but it was fun to watch in the third round. Still annoying though, because I'm watching it going, this is more entertaining now because they're actually kind of scrapping. But they're only scrapping because I can see how little energy they have. And I can see that neither of them is actually really capable of scrapping heavily right now. They're kind of just resorting to it because they don't have much defensive capability left. And they kind of want to put a capstone on this in case they haven't won the rounds and they don't have this decision under their belt. Abus gets it done though. I think from memory, I remember saying this could be 29-28 Abus. But arguably, I've given it 3-0 to Abus Magomedov, and I think the judges gave it 3-0 to him as well from memory, so makes sense to me. I picked him to win by I think I said round 2 KO for Abus, but he got a decision done, so that's fine. Fine by me. Is what it is. Shit fight. Abus is now ranked. I said it in my live reaction on my Fight Companion. This is a ranked fighter in Michel Pereira fighting Abus Magomedov, who is now a ranked fighter. So even though one of them was unranked and one of them is now unranked, technically, these guys have both been referred to as ranked UFC middleweights in the last 24 hours. And that's the event that 2 ranked middleweights put on for us. What the fuck is going on in that division? In the bottom of that division, at least. The higher we get, man, once you breach welterweight, middleweight can either be really good or really bad. Light heavyweight is either incredible or dog shit. And heavyweight is just dog shit, sometimes fun when someone gets knocked out. The higher you get in the weight classes, the worse the skill gets. Like, it's not even like, I kinda see it. No, it just gets substantially worse the higher up in weight classes you go. You get a bit more of a spike at middleweight and light heavyweight, I guess, because it's still a lot of good talent in the top part of that division. The top 10s of those divisions are both really fucking good. But heavyweight's got a good top 5, that's it. Whereas every other division, welterweight and below, has good top 15s. The whole top 15 is really, really good. Flyweight is questionable, not because they're bad, but because people can get into the top 15 quite easily at flyweight. But other than that, yeah. So we'll see what happens next for the fucking Hitler's favourite sons here, the gas out merchants themselves. On a more positive note, Randy Brown got a nasty knockout over Nicholas Dalby in the second round tonight. I picked Randy Brown by a first round KO. He didn't quite get it done. He did break Nicholas Dalby's nose in the first round. His team had to reset that in the corner during the break between first and second round. But he basically put not a capstone, but put like a the fight was done from the first round. As soon as Dalby's nose was broken, and he spends that entire round like running, basically. He's just either winging a really heavy overhand punches or overcommitting to shit. And Randy Brown's just on the outside, looking sloppy, might I say. Randy Brown, you did well, but looked really awkward. A couple of moments where he's very like wiry and gets like stuck in like a weird, or like his legs, like he doesn't put his feet in the right kind of position and kind of stumbles a little bit. He's just very long. His torso is very short for how long his fucking legs are. So he's going to have awkward moments like that and look like a bit of a retard sometimes. But he did good, okay? He did good. He did real good, honestly. The striking was slick, very slick. I think he's going to be a big problem for a lot of guys at 170 pounds. I'd like to see Randy Brown against someone like... He just lost to Brian Battle, obviously, but I think you got to give him a ranked fight very soon. Maybe his next fight needs to be against a guy that's going to get ranked. Maybe like the winner of, I don't know, Oban Elliott is fighting some can right now. So maybe if Oban Elliott wins, you do Randy Brown versus Oban Elliott. The winner gets a rank, something like that. But Brown is back into the mix. It was a slick shot that he put Dalby down with as well. He like was hurting Dalby multiple times, had him staggered, kept clipping him and making him go wobble leg, and then Dalby would back up or like walk into the cage, and then just one clean right across the jaw shot for Randy Brown, and Dalby dropped like a sack of potatoes, out cold. Like he was out really, really cold. The commentary and the crowd both went ballistic at that one. So that was a very fun fight. Probably one of the best performances of the night. Yeah, good shit from Randy Brown. Okay, next fight down, we have another one of the better performances of the night here. Ikram just absolutely destroyed Andre Muniz. I picked Ikram by KO as well. I don't remember whether it was first or second round. It was one of the two. And he gets Andre Muniz out of there in the first round. Very, as you can see, very close to making it to the bell, Andre Muniz was. But people are going to complain about the stoppage. I didn't think they would. I never even considered this being a bad stoppage until I saw online people complaining in comment sections. But this is not a bad stoppage, my friend. It was slow. Ikram could have been more aggressive, and I would have liked to have seen him have a bit more of, bloodlust at the end there to actually chase that finish. But Muniz did nothing at the end. Like, once he got hurt, clipped with that clean. It was a really awkward knockdown, might I add. Just a nice left hook from Ikram. Just one clean one. And it wasn't like you get clipped with something and you go down. When Ilya hit Holloway, okay? Holloway's moving and he gets clipped and all of a sudden now I'm going down, That's not what happened. Muniz was up against the cage, gets clipped with a hook, goes, duh, and then kind of realigns himself, like sits back up straight again after getting clipped. Duh. Oh, we sit up again. Oh, fuck, I'm falling over. He had like a Shane Burgos kind of thing, but not quite as bad. When Shane Burgos got clipped by Edson Barboza, and then he like stood there and he's like, I'm good. Oh, fuck, and just starts to fall backwards really slowly, like really delayed. Kind of like that, but it was a lot faster. It was more like he gets clipped the left hook, he goes, oh, I'm good. Oh, fuck, I'm not good, and falls back down. So it was much faster than that Shane Burgos example I gave you, but similar circumstance. And then Ikram follows him down to the mat and just hammer fisting and like hooks from the top. Oh, you guys can barely see me. And like hooks, like his hooking punches underneath and shit like that, and hammer fisting the shit out of him. Gets it done. There was like 10 seconds where Muniz didn't answer with any strikes at all, and it was entirely just while he's getting clipped with maybe 15 unanswered shots, maybe more. So you can complain about that stoppage if you want, but Ikram Aliskerov did great. Knocked Andre Muniz out. That's what you should be doing to Andre Muniz. He's 35, you're 32. He's a bit of a can, you're a bit of a contender. So he was a heavy favourite, rightfully so. I actually can't believe that people were talking about how that's a weird stoppage. But anyway, good shit from Ikram Aliskerov. Congratulations, you are back on the route to proving yourself to be a good fighter again after you got mogged by Whittaker, which is obviously just kind of unfortunate that you got put against number 3 in the world when you were unranked. That's never going to end well. So, yeah. moving on. Now, I'm a little bit more upset about this one because I didn't get to watch this fight. Well, I did. I watched the fight, but I didn't get to watch it live, and I went back and rewatched it, and I was kind of watching it in the background, but it was really fucking fun. It was a really fun fight, so I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't get to see this one live, but still, awesome stuff between Matt Schnell and Jimmy Flick, who I didn't think were going to be that incredible of a fight, which is why I was kind of not more than happy to, but when I had to skip to catch up to the live stream to watch on my Fight Companion, I was like, that's okay, I had to miss that fight. I'll come back and watch it later. Solid shit from both guys. Congratulations to Matt Schnell to have come back and been as good as he was, because he was on a fucking terrible, oh god, he was on a fucking terrible run before this. He was on like a 3-fight losing streak maybe? Yeah, literally. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 5, and 1 in his last 6, in his last 7, 8 fights. 5 losses, 2 wins, 1 no contest. And what was this initially? This was initially a loss. So he was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 and 6 in his last 8 is what he was. Yikes, dog. And I'm guessing it was for drug tests. Yeah. So this guy was obviously popped for steroids, but still. Gets choked out by Roval. Chokes out Suma Doergi, then gets beat by Nicolau, who's not great, then gets knocked out badly by Urseg, which is not great. Well, not really bad, but like he got slapped badly, you know what I mean? But Urseg's a good guy to have a loss to, but you got slapped by him badly. And then you got choked out by Durden. So I was expecting him to be gone. I think he did retire, like semi-retire, and then decided to come back, and he beat Jimmy Flick, who is a fucking good guy to get a win over. Just going to be completely honest with you. He's got some losses as well, but Flick is good. You know what I mean? You come into the UFC, arm triangle, flying triangle choke over Durden. Loses to Charles Johnson, Alessandro Costa, and Nate Maness, who are not the worst. Not the best, but not the worst. But it's a good guy for Matt Schnell to have gotten the win over. I probably should have picked Schnell, but I just didn't trust him because of how bad his record is. Like it's overall it's not that bad, 7-7, but this period is so bad because he came in, did strong, lost, and then goes win, but then lost and then win and then bow, fall from grace. But he's back, won that one. Lots of scrambles, lots of submission attempts, like from both guys. Both guys scrambling, ending up on bottom position, but ending up on top position. Both guys scrambling, several guillotines being pulled. I think both guys pulled like at least 2 guillotines each, maybe more. So, I mean, I'll pull that up on UFC stats right now, right? Let's see just how many guillotines, how many gillies were jumped in honor of Dustin Poirier. Let's find out. I bet they went for like at least 3 submission attempts each. Here. It says 3 in 1. I don't think that's true. I think it was a bit more than that. But yeah. Type shit. Crazy fucking fight. So, I enjoyed that one. That was very fun. If I was to recommend you guys any fight to go and watch from tonight, I'd say you should definitely go and watch Randy Brown. You should definitely go and watch Anthony Smith, and you should definitely go and watch Matt Schnell. Maybe also Ikram's fight, but it's kind of meh. It was okay, but this fight was fucking fun. So you guys should go watch that fight if you didn't watch any of them. Awesome stuff from Matt Schnell, to be fair to him. Jimmy Flick as well. Both guys, very dominant. It was Jimmy Flick won the first round very heavily, in my opinion. Second round was a lot closer. Matt Schnell did way better. Jimmy Flick still had a lot of his moments, but got caught on bottom position and beat up by Matt Schnell a lot. And then that third round was also close to a degree, but Matt Schnell walked away with it and gets it done. So congratulations to Matt Schnell. Okay, up next we had Evan Elder versus Gage Young. This one was a bit of a clear, concise performance, to be honest. Gage Young was in the fight for most of it, but ultimately 30-27. Evan Elder didn't lose a round. Gets it done. 28 years old, very young, but so's Gage Young. He's only 25, so I'm sure he'll be back. He lost to, I want to say, Quillen Salkilled on the Contender Series, right? That's him, isn't it? Yeah, so he lost to Quillen Salkilled on the Contender Series. Goes out, wins another fight, gets another chance to come into the UFC. Ultimately lost, but I'm sure he would have been signed rather than just coming in for a one-fight and then if you lose, you're out. I think when they sign guys off the regional scene to get them in for a short notice fight, pretty sure they give them at least like a 2-3 fight contract normally, and then see how you go, you know. But did well, honestly, for Evan Elder, as I'm saying, did well. Fair play to him. Bro's now, I think he's 2-0 or 3-0 in the UFC or something like that. Well, not 2-0, 3-0, sorry, but on a win streak. That's what I mean. Yeah, so he lost his initial fights in the UFC. Were they upper weight class? Welterweight? No, that's right. Oh, yeah, that was upper weight class. And then he fights Sadikov, who is lightweight, yeah. Loses to Sadikov by a doctor stoppage. Oh, that's kind of sucky. And then beats this guy, I don't know who the fuck Valdez is, and then beats Darius Flowers by choke, and then is beating Gage Young now, so fair play to him. Give him another unranked guy at lightweight. He's in a tough-ass division. It's going to be fucking hard to do well there, especially when you've had questionable moments against someone like Sadikov, who's not bad, but not top level, so questionable, but we'll see. Good job to Evan Elder, though. Congratulations. Okay, this fight was dead close. This was a very close fight, in my opinion. I could have been wrong, maybe. Don't know. I thought this could have gone to John Castaneda. I picked Chris Gutierrez by decision. I still think this very much could have gone to John Castaneda, evidently, because it was a split decision. I can't remember right now. I'm sorry, because this was very early in the morning when I watched this. But I knew I was concise on my opinion, and I'm just forgetting which rounds happened when. But there was one clear round for John Castaneda, one clear round for Chris Gutierrez, and then one iffy round that I kind of gave to Castaneda. But evidently, not a lot happened in this fight. This very, very leg kick heavy approach from Chris Gutierrez. Basically, did really well with it against John Castaneda early. Castaneda's grappling is a bit better than him, though. We can go look at the UFC stats if you want. Let's see. Down here. Yeah, so Castaneda got a lot of control time on him in that third round, especially, yeah. And in the first round, judges gave it 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Yeah, so I gave this round to Chris Gutierrez pretty clearly, I think. I thought this was a clear round for Gutierrez, and I thought this was a clear round for Castaneda, I believe. This was the round that was confusing, I think, the first round, yeah. I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I am wrong, because like I said, I don't remember. But one clear round for Gutierrez, one clear round for Castaneda, and one questionable round. But ultimately, it's just one of those fights. Very close. Hard to score. But I kind of wanted to give it to Castaneda. I kind of saw it going to Gutierrez, though. Really iffy. Very close fight. Probably the closest fight on the card. I don't know if I'd want to say that that's as close to a fight as this. You know what I mean? I think Castaneda... you know what? They're both kind of on the same level. From memory, they're both kind of on the same level. Both very close fights. So, fair play, but unlucky for John Castaneda. Good job to Chris Gutierrez. You're now back in the win column. Okay, almost done now. Next fight down, Damon Blackshear versus Alateng Heili. This was a very fun fight. Damon Blackshear, very good striker. Solid as fuck on the feet. I was expecting to see him get I think I picked him by submission in this fight, just because he's got a lot of submissions on his record, right? Yeah, wow, yeah. A lot of submissions. But he took the opportunity to make sure that this fight was him proving that he is a good striker more than anything, as we can see by the numbers. 125 to 61. Crazy. Look at the total strikes, most significant strikes. Bro wasn't throwing any shitty punches. Everything how you had intent on it. And a round by round basis, I'm pretty sure I gave it, one of the judges gave it 29-28. I'm pretty sure I gave it to Damon Blackshear 30-27. Yup. I don't know how you give Alateng Heili any of those rounds, to be completely honest with you. It just was clear, concise, Blackshear on the feet, outworking him, keeping the distance, just tip-tapping, tagging him. But it wasn't like he wasn't doing damage. Okay, it's not like he was staying on the outside, only throwing leg kicks and jabs the whole fight or something like that. He's doing a lot of leg kicks from memory, right? Let's double check. Yeah, well, not a lot, but a fair few leg kicks. And it's not going to tell me whether something is like a jab or a power shot, right? Yeah, it doesn't. But distance strikes. It does tell you distance strikes. All distance, basically. Like, you check that out. 37 strikes, 37 strikes. 40 strikes, 39. 48, 47. Apparently, only 2 of the strikes that he threw, that he landed in the whole fight, were actually not distance strikes. So, that should be pretty... and look at it. They were, in both cases, it's because they were clinch strikes. That's why. So, compared to Alateng's 25, 25, 25, 24. Wait a minute. Is that just how the UFC does it? Does distance just mean standing on the feet? It doesn't mean you're actually at distance. It just means you're standing up, throwing punches at each other. That's kind of dumb if that's what it means. But irrelevant then. But take my word for it. It was a lot of long-rangey attacks from Blackshear, using that against Alateng Heili. And I think he's a lot taller than him too. Yeah. 5'5" versus 5'10". 72 versus 66.5. This was a fight that Alateng Heili was doomed to lose based on his height. So, good job to Blackshear. He's promising. I'm enjoying seeing the rise of him. I hope to see him continue. You arguably looking at not a ranked fight, but close to. You're probably looking at a fight that the winner gets ranked, or a fight that the winner gets a ranked opponent next. So, good job to Blackshear. Very entertaining. I enjoyed what I saw. Unlucky to Alateng Heili, classic one of these Chinese fighters with a bunch of losses on his record. He's 5-3 in the UFC. I've never even heard of him before, and he's actually been fighting the UFC for ages. That's kind of crazy. Holy shit. I can't believe I actually don't know him. He's had that many fights, and I don't even know who he is. Yikes, that shows that he's not really doing very well. Hey, I mean, you're losing to Casey Kenny. Oh my god, you lost to Casey Kenny. You lost to Casey Kenny. Isn't this the Don that... Yeah, you go. Yeah. He only lost to the best, to be fair. He beat Ray Borg. And Brandon Royval. No. I'm thinking of a different guy. And he beat Nathaniel Wood. I'm thinking of a very different guy. Good loss to have, actually. If anything, Alateng Heili. That's actually a very good loss to have. Kevin Kroom. Buddy Kevin Kroom, bro. But then he loses to Chris Gutierrez. And now he's lost to Blackshear. So, unfortunate. But congratulations to Blackshear. Okay, moving down, we've got 4 fights left. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Saaiman. Going to be quick with this one. Saaiman, rest in peace, brother. You might get cut from the UFC at this point. You're on a 3-fight losing streak now. 3-3. Comes into the UFC. Gets a nice finish. So he gets a finish on the Contender Series. Comes into the UFC. Finish. Then gets a majority decision. Then gets a round 1 finish again. Then fraud checked in a decision. Obviously, Christian Gutierrez is a featherweight. He shouldn't be at bantamweight. He couldn't make the weight. Missed it like 3 times. I think he might be back at bantamweight, to be completely fair. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's at featherweight now. He's at featherweight now. But Peyton Talbot mogged you, and now Malcolm Wellmaker mogged you. You just got put on 2 people's highlight reel KOs. Talbot knocked him out bad, and Wellmaker just slumped him. Seriously, slumped him with that hook. It was a clean fucking shot, straight on Saaiman's chin. Put him down, face planted. Really bad. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I don't have much else to say about it besides that. I didn't know who the fuck Wellmaker was. He comes into the UFC, has a performance like that. Okay. I didn't see that coming at all. Obviously, he was undefeated, but he's had a Contender Series fight. That's it. And he hasn't fought that good competition before that either. So I was very impressed to see that he came in and did that to Saaiman. Maybe Saaiman's not as good as we think. Maybe this guy is just better than we think. But fucking interesting. Very interesting. And very interested to see this guy continue. Malcolm Wellmaker. 30 years old. So he's a little bit old, but he's 9-0. And he's active right now, I think. Yeah. Oh, he started his career late. Started his career 7. He didn't start fighting until he was 23. And he was fighting amateur for the first 4 years. He's only been a professional for 3 years. 26 years old and he still wasn't pro MMA. Now at 27 he became pro MMA. Yeah, no wonder he's got a good record as well. He's very late in his career to be starting out his tracking. You know, most guys, you see them having weird fights when they're 22. Or like a close decision that they barely won in a title fight in a regional when they were fucking 24 or something. Maybe this one's kind of an example of that, you know, split decision there, majority decision there, but still, arguably this is literally in a vacant title fight as well, majority decision. And they said it was a hard fight. He got a 21-day suspension, fair. But congratulations to him. I'm excited to see what Malcolm Wellmaker has in the bag, has in store for us in future. Polyana Viana got put in a spliff, smoked, and sent back to Brazil by another Brazilian girl. Jaqueline Amorim is short as fuck. Her reach is pretty fucking good for her height. And she was a massive favorite. I didn't realize she was that big of a favorite. Holy fuck. So she was 9-1. She's 20, about to be 30 years old. Polyana's 33. But that's not the reason that it's like 33, her height, whatever. Gorgeous, by the way. But it's more the fact that she was on a 2-fight losing streak. And she was 1-3 in her last 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in her last 9. She got 3 and 6 in her last 9 fights. In the UFC, she's 4-7. She was 3-7 before, 4-6 before this fight. Now she's 4-7. So she got cut tonight, just so you know. Polyana Viana got cut from the UFC tonight, so that's sad. We're never going to get to see her again. Unfortunate. Sorry, Colby's babe and Alex Pereira's babe, but you're gone now. She trains at Charles Oliveira's gym as well. Amorim just fucking was way better than her on the ground. And I saw this, I think she was beating her on the feet as well. Let me double check. But it was mainly the ground was when I was like, yeah, she gonna submit her. I think I might have said Jaqueline Amorim by submission, but I believe I picked her in the first round. Took her until the second round to get it done. Yeah, I mean, she landed 6 strikes on her and then gets her down and just controls her for like 6 minutes straight. That's insane, yeah. Shot 2 takedowns, both of them landed. So first round gets her down. Oh yeah, it was immediate. I forgot about that. It was immediate. She shot a takedown with straight off the bat. Got Polyana down and just was transitioning between all types of positions and just staying on top of her the entire round. Searching for submissions, but also, here we go, yeah, see, you can see the total strikes now, it's a bit different, because she was actually ground and pounding her, they're just not counting as significant strikes, but landing ground and pound, looking for submissions, and didn't really get that close to one in the first round from memory, but then in the second round, takes her down again, immediately, like the rounds lasted 1:49, she shot and got 1:40 of control time, so she shot within 6 seconds in that round, and within 9 seconds in that round, and both times landed the takedown, got Polyana down, and just destroyed her on the ground. So, unfortunate for Polyana Viana. Jaqueline Amorim is probably a pretty good grappler, if we're going to be honest. I don't think Polyana's got many submissions on her record. She has a lot of submissions on her record. That's even better. So Polyana is actually like a submission-heavy girl, and you took her down and just destroyed her on the ground. Obviously, I know Yasmin Lucindo did the same thing. Jillian Robertson fucking punched her out. She got armbarred by Veronica Hardy. God, yeah. So it's not that impressive, I guess, but still relatively a solid fucking performance from Jaqueline Amorim. That was her UFC debut, right? She's 4-1 in the UFC! How do I not even remember her? How do I not remember you? What? Sorry, I'm yelling. Damn, man. I'm so bad with WMMA. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry. I am bad with WMMA, huh? Fuck. So I actually remember seeing this when I did research for this card. I knew that she lost to Sam Hughes, and that she came in and beat Corey McKenna and Vanessa Demopoulos. I knew that. And I still just then said that, is this her UFC debut? Fucking idiot. This is the reason I picked her by submission. Is because she's got 3... Anyway. Jaqueline Amorim. Good contender. Looks great. Lost to Sam Hughes, but at this point, like, there's a lot of great fighters who have lost to Sam Hughes, right? Fucking Dudakova, Luciano, Amorim, even Elise Reed and Estela Nunez. These are all, like, decent fighters. She obviously loses to shit fighters, too. Like, Tisha Pennington beat her. It was a doctor stoppage, to be fair. Vanessa Demopoulos beat her. Luma Lukbunmi is not the worst, but she beat her. Luana Pinheiro beat her. Who the fuck is Pierre Rodriguez? Is she even still in the UFC? She get cut. Oh yeah, that's the girl that beat Josephine Knudsen, actually. I do remember her. She lost to Uregui, which isn't great either. Uregui's not bad, but she did just get fucking destroyed by old mate, right? Caitlin Souza and Denise Gomez before that. Questionable. WMMA, right? WMMA. But congratulations to Jaqueline Amorim. Round 2 submission over Polyana Viana. Rip Polyana. Okay, and below that, we had Timmy Cuamba versus Roberto Romero. I picked Roberto Romero by around 2 submission. He didn't get that. Unfortunately, he got knocked out in the second round. But I have a bone to pick. I'm not going to harp on it. I just want to point it out because it's very much like not that bad. But this was an early stoppage. It's not that bad as far as early stoppages go, though. Really questionable. In that aspect, it's a fucking really questionable time to jump in and stop that fight. Crazily questionable, in fact. The guy was literally like, got kneed, followed down to the mat, and then by the time he hit the mat and started posturing up to get up, the ref is already just like, it's over. Like, the fight is very much still in play, and the ref just comes in and says, I've seen enough. Now, do I think Roberto Romero was going to get out of that? Maybe. He did grab a single leg on the ref that he was obviously trying to grab on Timmy Cuamba, but the ref got in the way. Maybe he was obviously with it enough to be now back in the game looking for his way out of this position. But he probably still would have got destroyed, considering he got hurt on the feet and then he got flying kneed and dropped with it. You're probably getting fucking finished there, unfortunately. I would have liked to have seen them actually give him the chance to get out of it because he seemed like he was going to show a lot of heart right there. It takes a lot of heart to eat a flying knee like that and just be like, you know what, I'm getting the fuck back up. I've got more fight in me. But evidently that got cut short. We didn't get to see more of that. Unfortunate, but Timmy Cuamba has now got a nice finish on his record in the UFC. That was his third UFC fight, first UFC win. That's why I picked against him as well. He's got 0 UFC wins. He lost to Balaji Oki and Lucas Almeida. Really, really sad. Really sad, but there's only so much you can do. Roberto Romero is now what in the UFC? 0-2. He also didn't have a win in the UFC. Oh, but he did well against David Onama. I remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, I just remember seeing him against David Onama and getting a gist of what kind of fighter he was, and thinking that he's probably going to beat a Timmy Cuamba coming off of 2 losses in a row, both by decision to be fair, but still. But fair play, Timmy Cuamba. You impressed me tonight, proved me wrong. Impressed me a lot. Like, that striking prowess was not something I was expecting to see, but it was very nice to see. So, congratulations, and rip to Roberto Romero. Alright guys, final fight on the card. Very short again. Joselyn Edwards, Chelsea Chandler. Joselyn fucked Chelsea Chandler up on the feet. I don't even think Chandler really landed many strikes, if I'm going to be completely honest. 10. Look at that. 30-10. So, it was only 1 round, yeah. Joselyn just starts to tee off on her early. Is getting the better of her a lot. They get into a grappling sequence, obviously. Joselyn takes Chelsea down. They get into a grappling sequence. Bit of control time there for Joselyn Edwards. Not much, though. Chelsea Chandler gets back to her feet eventually. But Joselyn is just way better at striking than Chelsea. Evidently, if you watch the fight. It is so obvious based on the performance. But then she clips her bad and drops Chelsea Chandler. And it's one heavy shot is what it takes to drop her, and then she follows it down to the mat and just finishes it off with ground and pound. I bet there's going to say a couple of ground shots were landed here. Two ground and pound shots. I'm going to guess those are the 2 shots that she landed when she followed Chelsea Chandler down to the mat after she finished her. I'm actually going to really quickly go and check what that knockout looked like, because it's the first fight I watched and I'm kind of forgetting. Yeah, so it was like I thought. Joselyn Edwards was winging a lot of hooks at her and just clips her with just a dink, 2 hooks back to back. Chelsea drops badly down to the mat, and then immediately Joselyn gets on top of her, hits her with 2 nice shovel hooks, boom, boom to the head. Referee steps in, says, I've seen enough, that's it, please stop fighting, ladies. There's enough of me for both of you. So, congratulations to Joselyn Edwards. She's actually got a couple of good wins on her record back to back now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why I was looking at Mingyang Zhang's record there, I apologize. I think she just beat Vidal before that, right? That's the fight that she missed weight for, but 2-fight win streak, yeah. So she lost to Island Perez. She lost to Nora Cornell and Island Perez. That's kind of shit. Yeah, but this is the chick who came into the UFC, won, loss, win, then misses weight twice in a row, winning both of them, okay? Bad, you missed weight by 1.5 pounds there, and here you missed it by a ½ pound, so not that bad, but still. Then you lose to Nora Cornell, who's not the greatest, but not the worst, but not the greatest. And you lose to Island Perez, who's a bit better, makes a bit more sense. And this is a bantamweight, by the way. She's missing weight at the highest weight class in the UFC for women. And then she fights Tamires Vidal, fucked her up, but had missed weight for that fight. And by 3 pounds, that's a big weight miss. That's about as big as weight misses get. Because if you're not making it to 140, 141, you aren't even trying to make 135. You're a 145er by that point. This is just, you're a 135er, but you gave up early on that weight cut. Either that, or you're just in that tiny little precipice where it's like, you have to fight at 145. You're able to cut one. I know I'm saying this, there's no 145 division, in the UFC, but I'm still making my point. At this point, it's like you're just in that precipice of you just are the perfect weight. You just can't quite make bantamweight, but you're going to be on the smaller side of featherweight. Unfortunate, but she clearly made weight this time. Very good. So that's an improvement for her. And then she knocked out Chelsea Chandler in the first round. First good performance on her UFC career that doesn't have an asterisk on it, right? This is like debut, then loses, and then has a good one. It's against a 6-3 opponent though, and she's coming off 2-fight loss streak. Then she beats these two girls back to back, both in split decisions, both where she missed weight, and both where they did not have good records. Both girls have got half of their record in losses. Like half of their wins in losses on their records. That's crazy. And then you lose to Cornell and Perez, who are both good. You made weight for both those fights, which is solid. But then you missed weight again, and what do you know? Won the fight. So, and it's also against Tamires Vidal, who's not that great. Not that great. I think she might have been cut from the UFC after that. She was on a 2-fight losing streak at that point. Yeah, she's 1-3 in the UFC. She definitely got cut. But now she beat Chelsea Chandler, who's still not the greatest. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Lost to Yana Santos, Norma Dumont. But she was missing weight as well. So I guess, you know what? As far as weight misses go, at least they put 2 weight misses against each other. But neither of them missed weight for this fight. Joselyn Edwards, back on a win streak for the first time in a couple of years. So good job. Try and maintain it. Try and make weight, please. No one's going to hate you. Good job. Okay, guys, that is going to be it today for the UFC Kansas City in Garry versus Carlos Prates breakdown. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the notifications. Join me this weekend for Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. That's going to be a really fun fight night. I'm excited for that. There's another solid main card. Like for a fight night, the prelims, kind of wishy-washy. Still going to watch them, but wishy-washy. But the main card of that event is really fun. You've got Sandhagen and Figgy. We've got Derrida versus Bo Nickel is on that card, I believe, and a couple of other good contenders on the main card there. So come and join me to watch that one live next weekend. Obviously, you could have been here to watch this one with me live this weekend, but I doubt you were. Only a couple of people showed up, but to those ones that did show up, you're the man. You boys are G's. Come and join in, interact in chat, be a part of the stream. You might give me things that I talk about in my videos. If you are interacting in chat and giving me things to think about, combating me on some opinion I have in some way, or whatever it is, I'd love to have you guys there. Join in the discussion. So leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check out the Fight Companion, go look for any reactions you might be after, and I'll see you guys all in the next mixed martial arts video.